Wow, thank you, Nick.
No problem.
Well, cool. Yes, indeed. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Wednesday Night Live with yours truly. And we're having some fun up in here, trying something a little different. And I just played a tune that is a song from fellow drummer Jake Reed, who recently released a record called, hold on, I know what it is. I'm putting myself on the spot. Read Between the Lines, which is a clever play on words. And that tune was Welcome Home. And Jake had a very interesting concept. He put out this tune without drums and talked about how as a drummer, sometimes you show up, you do a great job on a recording session and you think you've nailed it, and then come to find out they didn't exactly love what you did, and they went ahead and got somebody else to play drums on it. And that's never fun if that happens, but sometimes it does. And so Jake decided to kind of flip that and put out this track and have drummers do their own versions of it. And he called it Replace Me. And one of my students, Eric Lowe, sent it to the community forum in my drum academy and said, hey guys, here's something cool from Jake Reed. I thought y'all might enjoy this. Let's all take a pass at it. So I've been busy with things going on. So my first pass at it was about 15 minutes before we went live, and we were sound checking and rehearsing at the same time. And
Pro.
and so I was like, Nick, play it again, play it again. I got to get those hits right. So the name of the track is Welcome Home, which for me, a track like this is very much in my wheelhouse. And I did listen to it, but I haven't gotten a chance to play to it. So I checked out Eric's version. I know Nikos is doing a version. Nikos Anastasiadis, who is one of our most active members in the academy.
He says
so,
hi.
What's that, Nick?
He says hi.
Nico says hi. Well, I hope you liked my approach. I was kind of just playing what I was feeling in the moment and having some fun with it. But while I was playing, I realized, okay, let's do a different thing with tonight's stream. And hopefully all the non-drummers will find this interesting too. I try to keep this interesting for all fans of music and what I do until the last half of this where we start to get into drum stuff. But I'm going to get into something that I hope everyone finds interesting. So when you get presented with a track as a drummer and there's no drums on it, there's literally an infinite amount of ways you could go. So with something like this, what I hear is the rhythmic structure, which is kind of based off of a 3, to me, like a 3/2 modified clave. It's like but the bass player is going so I'd be playing, I'm thinking something more like a don't got it a don't got it goes there's like a million things I could do to that. So what I'm going to do for fun, I'm going to show y'all the inner workings of some of this stuff, right? So to me, the most foundational beat in, let's call this syncopated funk, right, is, to me, I know I talk a lot about it, but Big Chief, right, came out in, I think, 1964. Professor Longhair, who is the man that Tipitinas was started for. I just happened to be wearing a Tipitinas hoodie all day today, and I was like, I was going to change, and I was like, you know what? Nah, I'm going to keep it on. So let me show y'all Big Chief. Smokey Johnson played this beat, right? And this beat will work to this song, believe it or not. Check it out. So Big Chief beat goes like this. Now, that came out in 1964. And then to me, beats that are related to that, things like Superbad, James Brown's Superbad, that didn't come out till 1970, I think. That's like 6 years later. And it's very, to me, it's Superbad's roots are in Big Chief. Right? And then Dr. John's Qualified, that beat, to me, is very similar to Big Chief, but with embellishments. So if I play Big Chief and then go into Superbad, play Big Chief, go into Qualified, you'll see the difference. or I should say the similarities. All right, so now imagine, like, as I did 15 minutes before this, you start playing along to this. I did listen to this early this morning, but imagine you're in a studio as a drummer and somebody says, okay, here's a track. I want you to come up with something to this, okay? So Nick, hit this for me, right? So I'm going to listen first, and then I'm going to try Big Chief. Hit it, Nick.
All right. All right. Here we go.
So notice I started off playing Big Chief, then I modified it so that my foot was playing with the bass player. Then I noticed the bass player is going ba-dum boom, ba-dum boom. So my options are I could go 1, 2, 3. But that sounds a little busy to me and just too exact, right? I mean, so I like to split things up. So what I started doing was I started landing da-dum boom on the snare drum. And then this little thing is a total hello, how you doing to the great Zigaboo Modalist. So that's the beat I came up with just now while we did that pass, right? So that's kind of cool. I like that. And then the producer might say, oh, that's great. I really like that. That's cool. Can you play that when the melody comes in? But when you were warming up, I heard you doing something over here on the left hand. Can you, with your, what is that drum? What is that thing? I was like, oh, the Pondero? Yeah, that thing. Can you do something with that when the song starts and then play that beat when the melody comes in? Sure. So Nick, hit it for me.
From the top?
Yes, please.
All right, here's a good one. I thought this is interesting. When was the last time you were nervous for a gig?
Right now. I mean,
the 3 minutes right before we go on is my most stressful time.
I mean, you know, right now this is kind of nerve-wracking, to be honest with you, because I'm presenting, I'm playing, talking, presenting for an invisible audience, you know? I mean, I'm used to playing and getting immediate gratification, right? Like, you come out on stage, you start playing, you know right away whether or not people are digging it, whether people are enjoying it. You know, with Galactic, people come out, you come out and people are, you know, they cheer, and then if they start dancing, then you know that you're doing okay, right? Playing with Snug Harbor with my piano trio, you know, if you can kind of read the room. People are sitting, they're watching you, but you can tell if people are digging it or not. And then if they clap after the song is over or after the solos, you know maybe they're enjoying it. With this, you know, I don't know how many people are watching right now. I mean, Nick could tell me, but I'm not worried about it. But you don't know really how many people are watching, who's watching, whether or not they're digging it. It's a little bit of a nerve-wracking situation, and you know, slightly embarrassing. It could be at times. I mean, I just started opening my computer and just going live because I love a challenge. I love that feeling of, oh, are we gonna make it, you know? And when we first started going into quarantine, I was like, well, what am I gonna do that's gonna be A, kind of a weekly regular thing that I can do, B, maybe sustainable after I go back out on the road? Like, would I be able to, you know, whatever it is I'm gonna do? Like, if I started doing something every day, that would be hard to keep up once I go on the road. So I decided to do this weekly thing, and I started doing it on Facebook. Then I did it on Zoom as a paid masterclass for a while. Then I decided to come back and just do it free and open to y'all and talk and interact. And I love doing it. And the interaction from the questions and the shout outs from some of the people that we know and love, and meeting and getting to hear from new people is exciting. So, you know, this is a format that I've found that I've really dug, but it can be nerve-wracking. I mean, there have been times where Nick and I are like, oh my God, everything was working a second ago. What just happened?
I heard a new one from some film dudes.
Yeah.
I was, you know, we'd gotten all this stuff done, and, you know, I was like, yeah, man, I'm feeling really confident. I think we're going to be great. I think this show's going to go great. And they're like, yeah, I can confidently say that when we show up tomorrow that we can confidently say it worked just fine yesterday.
Yeah, exactly. So, you know, it's a new medium. I mean, you learn how to play, you start learning how to play at small gigs, in small venues, and then you get to bigger and bigger venues, festivals, larger festival stages, outdoor stages. You know, I'm more comfortable walking out in front of 50,000 people to play with Galactic at Jazz Fest. I mean, because we've done that for 25 years now. I mean, it wasn't always that many people to start, but now we usually play before one of the big headliners, and we've usually done 2 tours, East Coast 3 weeks, West Coast 3 weeks, and we're prepared and we're ready and we're doing it. And you know, we've prepared and we know what we're doing. We have crew all around in case something goes wrong. You know, with this, it's like it's just me and Nick. And the song I just played for you, the first time I ever played it was 15 minutes before we went live. And so I like putting myself in the hot seat. I like challenging myself and trying to make myself a little bit nervous. So that was a great question, and that was a very long answer to your very short, simple question.